What's up, and welcome back to Opposites Attract Podcast. This is Sonja Ramirez, your girl, and I'm sitting next to
Miguel Ramirez.
What's up, everybody? How is your day?
How was your week?
How is your life?
Going.
Woo! All right.
Yeah. Dude, I'm getting stuffier and stuffier as the seconds
Well, how about
pass.
you blow your nose and stop eating your boogers?
Oh, man. Make sure you guys
Allergies.
go to Opposites. Make sure you go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. When you guys go there, you guys can watch the podcast there. You can follow our social media there. You can see ways that you can support the show and all kinds of stuff. But you'll be able to get a lot of information about us, send us messages. But yeah, go ahead and check that out. oppositesattractpodcast.com.
Yes.
What's up, babe?
What's up? So, I'm glad to have you back.
Yeah, I was away for a little bit on work.
I
Work
missed
traveling
you.
in. I missed you too.
I did. The day you left. This time, and I think it's just because I've been, doing so much work on myself and just wanting to be around, you around and, to have the kids around, the family. And the day you left, I was just like, but I didn't want to say anything because I already know how you're feeling because you're having to leave.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to make you feel bad,
Yeah.
And so whenever our music, certain music would come on, and I'm like, I miss you, Daddy. Audrey's like, Mom, he just left. I'm like, I know.
He'll be back. Yeah.
It's so cute how she reassures me.
Yeah.
He'll be back. It's okay. But speaking about the kids, Adriana made
The
club.
club softball team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's super excited about that. I was, I had time, obviously, to myself when you were gone with the kids. And I have been working on integrity, and
With the kids?
with just myself, integrity,
Okay.
doing the right thing, keeping my word, not only to myself, but to others. And if I feel that at any point in my past, I was not following that path, like if there was something within that, I go into meditation, and if something comes up that I feel needs to be released, it's like letting go of all the dark secrets or things that you've kept in to release them. And I'm doing this from my coaching practice.
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of emotional work, guys.
Yeah.
I have been emotionally drained. I have put a stop to everything. What I mean by that, I'm just, business work, busy work, just all of it. And I've been spending a lot of time with me and the family. And
writing and reading.
Yes, all of that.
Journaling.
Meditating, praying, just all of it. And while I'm studying integrity, something comes up and needs to be released. And it's something that I'm like, I thought I forgot about, and it came up. When I was a little girl, there were these dolls. I remember going to the mall. I think it was with one of my sisters. And I was little. I was probably 10. And I saw these dolls, like these newborn dolls. And these newborn dolls had private parts. Like they look like a baby. Yeah. And I've always loved babies. Like I always loved dolls. Yes.
Yeah.
And, and I seen these dolls and I was so excited. Like, ooh, I want one of these. And I looked at the price tag and I'm like, I'm not getting one of these. Because they were like $150 to $350 or something.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, they were up there when they first
Even
came
back
out.
then?
Yes.
That's crazy.
And so, but I wanted one. And my mom is so sweet. Like she tried. She got me this one, but it was cloth. It wasn't exactly what I wanted. But I remember being really happy that I got one. But there was still that deep, what do you call it? Like just want.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so in high school, this is so embarrassing because when you're in high school, what age are you?
What, 15, 16,
right?
17?
Like freshman.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, freshman year, what, 14 maybe?
Yes,
14,
freshman
15?
year. And I know I'm going to have some of my girls
This is
from,
funny.
from high school watching this.
Snap.
Like,
this is funny.
You're the one.
This just got a whole lot funnier knowing that there's people that you went to school with
that
are going to hear this.
And I walk into it's we have home ec. What is it called? Like life skills.
Yeah,
it's
like,
a life skills
something like that.
Class.
Where they teach you how to burn shit.
Where they teach you what?
Yeah, they're trying to teach you how to cook toast and stuff.
Yes, they teach you how to cook. They teach you how to sew, how to be a parent, all that, right? And I remember walking into this classroom, and they had the dolls that I've always wanted, and that same feeling came up. I remember, and I wanted one.
Yeah.
So I took one.
You took one?
2.
You took 2? 4.
I did.
Damn.
And it was so long ago. And I think about it, these dolls were played with by my nieces.
Yeah.
They were played with by our daughters.
Where are they?
In my room.
Are they in the room?
One was stolen from me. So karma, right? But I never told a soul, you guys. I never told a soul. And I don't even remember because they're big. They're big.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a
newborn baby, the size of a newborn baby.
Twice the size of a Cabbage Patch, right?
Yeah, it's the size of a newborn baby, guys.
Right.
So I don't even remember. I blocked that part out, like how I took them. I was so embarrassed and so, that I just blocked that part out because I don't remember how I got them. But I do remember the teacher talking to the class saying we have one of our boy, dolls and girl doll is missing. If you guys, blah, blah, whatever, right?
Bring it back.
So when that came up, my inner God was like, I need you to confess this to your kids. And I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
What? And I was just so embarrassed.
Really?
Yeah, I was embarrassed. I'm the mom. I'm the one that teaches them. You are not to take anything that doesn't belong to you, right? That's what we teach them. So yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like you were telling me. Like if you have an emotion, if it brings up emotions, then you got to take care of it.
Yeah, you got to let it go. You got to release that. There's something there, and you praying, and just anyways. So Audrey and I are sitting in the bed, and I'm studying, and she's doing her schoolwork, and I look at her, and I tell her, I got to tell you a dark secret, and she looks at me like so.
She's excited.
Yes.
Let me know the dirt, Mom.
Yes. And she looks at me, and I shared with her the same story that I shared, with you guys. And her response, she laughed so hard. I'm like, why are you laughing? She's like, Mom.
You stole dolls.
From school, but let me tell you, this here opened up a deeper relationship than what we already had. And I'll share why. So she's like, okay, Mom, are you going to share this with Joey? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know when. I don't know if, when the time comes, I will. And all of a sudden he pops in. What you guys doing? And he grabs my doll. The one, because I asked her to get the doll. You still have it? Yeah. I still have it. And she grabs, I asked her to go get the doll.
Sometimes
Joey
when I'm
sees
sleeping,
the doll.
I see it looking at me.
No, it's normally in the playroom. That's why I forgot about it, because Audrey don't play with dolls anymore. Joey grabs its head and smashes it. And I'm like, Joey, don't do that. And he saw my reaction because my little brother used to do that to me, and I would get so upset because I cared about my babies.
Your babies.
Jennifer. Yeah. Shut up. And anyways, when he did that, I'm like, how would you like it if I got your transformer and threw it against the wall? He's like, Mom, that's different. Your baby's head is squishy.
Damn, you guys are getting aggressive. How would you like if I took your transformer, fucking smashed it against the wall?
And he's like,
you beating up on fucking Jennifer being big and tough.
And then he's like, besides, Why does it mean that much to you anyway? And then Audrey's, ooh, and she looks at me like,
what you gonna say now?
Here it is, Mom. So, of course, again, I'm sharing it with Joey. And Joey's response, I was not expecting this. He had that little boy, the laugh that comes from the belly.
Oh yeah,
those belly
he still
laughs.
Has that. It's
so
cute.
did Audrey. Both of them were laughing about it.
That's funny.
And they thought it was so funny because Mommy, who's like a good, who's always doing what's right and very kind and loving, right?
These jack dolls
stole a damn doll from school.
Yep.
So he starts laughing. And Audrey leaves, right, after we're done. And Joey slept with me. And we're sitting down, or we're laying down in the dark. And he says, Mommy, what took you so long to tell that secret? Was the guilt bothering you?
Joey said that?
Joey said that.
What'd you tell him?
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
So how he's so in tune to put those together, because a lot of times when we do something and it's something that we're not proud of, whether it's cheating on your significant other, whether it's stealing a doll from school, whether it's just, it eats at you and it eats at you. And you think that because you shoved it down so deep that you're okay. And it's not the case. When you release guilt, it frees the soul. It really does. It's amazing the difference in all the work that I've been doing, coaching.
Yeah.
How I feel so whole and so complete and free.
Yeah.
And while I am learning and going through, releasing dark secrets and things that I've done in the past, cheating on everyone that I've been with, and just facing my shit, like facing and cleaning up all the shit that I've done that I'm embarrassed about or that I feel guilty of.
Yeah.
And I've been writing letters, to the kids, to my sister Diane that passed. I wrote you a letter. And when I write the letter, I am with them. You understand? It's like I'm there, and every inch of me is writing this letter. Every emotion,
it's like your only focus
is coming out, and so much is being revealed about myself. And the truth starts to come out, and you start to put the dots, like you start to connect the dots, and you start to realize why you've been acting the way you're acting, or, why is it that I can't find, this joy, like when with the businesses that I'm working, it's like I'm in it for the money, but I'm not doing it because it's something that I love to do, my purpose. I'm not following my purpose. I'm not walking the path. And what keeps holding me back? What is it that I'm so scared of? What is it? Why do I continue doing these things?
Yeah. Like you get to a point, but you never break past that point. And it's always like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Right. And when, I started writing all these letters, it started to reveal a piece of me. Like when I was writing the letter to my sister, I realized that I was holding on to guilt.
Yeah.
And this letter I did actually post it on Facebook, on our Facebook group page, as a 3-page letter. And it explains where this guilt stemmed from.
Yeah.
And I had anger. Like I was angry at her because her and I were close, and for her not to open up and to tell me I relapsed to my drug addiction.
Yeah.
You know, and recognizing the reason why she didn't open up to me, because I'm her little sister.
You know what? That kind of reminds me, like you were telling me about that with, like, how could, like, she probably felt like you're saying, like, how is she going to go to her little sister?
She was embarrassed.
She's supposed to be the big sister.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's kind of like when you think about like leadership, like all your problems and everything goes up, but it doesn't go down, right? Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like they don't want to bring their problems. She doesn't want to bring her problems and her struggles to her little sister. She's supposed to be the strong one that the little sister goes to.
Right.
Right? But then sometimes when you have that guilt, you also don't talk to anybody else about what's going on. So it's just eating you up.
Right. And so while I'm going through all these changes, and while I'm starting to wake up to my truth, I know that's so cliche, but that's what it is. I'm sharing my experiences with our children.
Yeah.
And it's helping to build such a tight bond with them, because mommy's not perfect.
Yeah.
Right? They're seeing, oh shit, like mommy's not perfect.
Yeah.
Mommy has feelings, right? She makes mistakes. And while I was laying there with Joey and we were talking, he started having some really cute conversations with me. He opened up to me. First, he asked me, Mom, how old were you when you had your first crush?
Yeah.
And I said, well, I think I was like in second grade. I said, because I remember my teacher, Miss Dichter, sent me to the principal and I got a SWAT because I kept talking to this little boy, and he's like, wow, she wasn't really nice. I'm like, yeah, she was acting like a real dick. And he started laughing. Really? I'm like, that's probably why her name is Miss Dichter.
He starts cracking up.
And it's funny because I remember her. I can close my eyes and I can see her, you know, but it's because she inflicted pain on me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It was a heightened emotion. I was so sad, and so my ass hurt. I remember, you know?
Yeah.
It was a wooden paddle.
Damn.
And then he opened up to me.
What'd he say?
And he told me that he had 2 crushes before, not now.
Yeah.
And that he paid his sister $1 to go let one of them know, and he got rejected. And I'm like, how did that make you feel? He's like, But it's like when you start to build this bond with your children, they will start to open up. They'll start to talk to you.
Yeah.
But it's so important for us parents. Like this, I encourage you all to take the time to just lay with them. Don't say anything. Don't talk about the day. Don't just lay with them. But also share with them the things that you've done so that you can become more relatable. I mean, you've been doing that a lot as well. Yeah. And I do see me going through what I'm going through. It's also helping you.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
Yeah. I mean, kind of like, I think we've talked about it in the past. It's like, there's no way that if we're together and we're communicating all the time, like if you're on a path to getting better, it's hard for the rest of the family not to like get engaged in that too. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's been really good. Can
you share something with us about maybe something that you learned, something that you've realized within the time that I've been coaching, just reading my letters, watching me going through it with me? Because there's times where my eyes are bulging out of my head because I've been crying all day, and you come home or you walk in while I'm crying and you just hold me.
Yeah.
I mean, the kids are experiencing this with me. They're walking into that. And, you know, Audrey walked in when I was writing my sister the letter. It was at 5:30 in the morning. And she just came in and held me.
Yeah.
She came in. I was sitting in the corner on the chair and I was typing the letter, and I was so in this letter. It's like I can see her. I can feel her. And she saw that I was a mess because I've been a mess. And she just sees me and she's so compassionate. And she just comes and she's holding me and she's just there with me.
Like comforting you?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So are there, is there anything that because you've been listening to the book that I was listening to, were there any aha moments or, damn, that's me?
Yeah, well, we were talking about that book, The Ultimate Coach. And that's something that we never actually got into. But, dude, the way the book starts out, I can't remember all the things that he talks about. But the way he grew up and the way I grew up were almost identical. Freaking crazy.
Yes.
Like, I think his dad was a boxer and his grandfather or something like that. My grandfather was a boxer. My dad was also a fighter. And it was like a professional fighter. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like what he was saying. And I guess his dad was also abusive. But I can't remember. There was just a lot of similarities.
Right.
It was kind of crazy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But
I know that he was talking about his wife, Amy, and they were talking about their love, the love they had or the love that he has for her. And you were talking about that and how that's how you feel.
Yeah, that's how I feel about you. It's just, I don't know. I have to go back and listen to it again. But
so I'm putting you on the spot right now.
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't listened to it right now. That was a while ago. But no, but I do remember that. Just kind of like the way he feels about his wife, and yeah, like she's always on his mind, and it's like he wouldn't be who he is without her, you know? And that's kind of how I feel too. You know, I can't remember exactly all of it, but yeah.
I'm sure there's some couples watching this right now, or, whether it's one of you. But a question that I get often is how did you guys get to where you are today? How is it that you guys are able to communicate the way you communicate? And we were, and those of you that have been listening to this for a while know that it has not been like this. The first 5 years were very challenging.
Yeah.
Very challenging. We were not the people we are today. And I tell people that I loved you to love. I loved you to love.
What does that mean?
I loved you. I started doing the work before you started doing the work. I, for one, had to start working on myself because I had a lot of crap that I had to face. The ego, right? The pride, being an independent woman and allowing you to be the man.
Yeah.
And I had to soften up because I was hard. I was rigid. I was scared to fall in love because I was scared of getting hurt. I wasn't okay with being vulnerable and speaking to you and telling and talking to you and letting you know what's going on within myself, because then that would make me look weak.
No.
So I had to grow while I started learning how to love. And the Bible was the first book that came at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was the 5 love languages. But I softened and I loved you to love. I loved you enough and cared enough to open up to you. And I think the more I became vulnerable with you and I started to open up to you, it helped you.
Yeah, it did.
Because you can only be an asshole for so long. Not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I'm just coming here loving you and being like, you know what, I'm sorry. Or, you know, it took me a long time to apologize. To say that I'm sorry when I was wrong. Right?
Yeah, it did. But no, I mean, I've said it before and I've told you before. Like at that time, like you went, I put you through a lot and you did like have to work on me and like soften me up eventually, you know, to the point when I was like, hold up, like I can't keep living like this and treating you that way. And like, we got to work on this, you know? And then we just both at that point get moving in the same direction.
Right. And I feel that the struggles that we have gone through have helped us gain the respect that we have for each other, and that our love today is unbreakable. But I don't think it would have gotten to where it's at if we didn't overcome those struggles.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I also think that going through some of those struggles, it's like we also know that we're capable of handling things when they come up. You know, it's not like a time to freak out all the time because we've already been through so much shit. It's like, all right, well, what are we going to do now? You know? And we both know that we can handle it.
Yeah.
You know?
So going through, you know, all of this, I talk about this a lot, like just being able to never lose the kid within, right? We've talked about that, like playing in the rain and all that. Well, guess what? While you were gone, I witnessed Joey. He loves Transformers.
Yeah.
Right. And on Thursday, they had this costume, wear your superhero costume. And Joey would always dress up for that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he goes and he puts on his Transformer costume. And he looks so cute. And so I come downstairs, start making breakfast. Next thing you know, he comes down and he's not wearing the costume anymore. And I'm like, dude, what happened? Where's your costume? He's like, I'm not going to wear it anymore. I'm like, but you were so excited about wearing your costume.
Yeah.
So I go upstairs and I'm like, hey, Audrey. I'm like, did you tell your brother something about wearing the costume? She said no, but I think she hinted like, dude, you're in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Because I've heard her say that before.
Yep.
And he ended up, I had this conversation with him. And I think that the passion came from being an adult and allowing others, right?
Like he wanted to wear the costume.
Yeah. But he started thinking about, what are other people going to say? Am I going to get teased? You know, and so many times we allow people to shape our lives or steal our joy.
Right.
And so I had this conversation with him and I'm like, hey, if you don't want to wear the costume, I'm like, because you don't want to wear the costume, then that's fine. But if you're not wearing that costume because you're afraid of what other people are going to say,
yeah,
I'm like, you're losing. He's like, what do you mean? So then I shared with him the situation with, you know, me going out and dancing in the rain and just, you know, just, it's like whatever it is that you feel like doing or that you want to do, if it's a pair of shoes or something you're wearing, or you want to go out and dance in the middle of the store because that's what you want to do, then do it.
Yeah. That's good.
And while he's walking out the door, I'm like, Joey, he turns around and I'm like, you're fucking amazing. And he's like,
what?
Thanks, Mom.
That's so funny. That's so funny. That's cool.
Because I remember when that happened with Audrey. With that rainbow.
With the rainbow dress. Yeah. Yep.
Loved it. She loved it.
Until somebody said somebody. Until somebody said somebody.
to buy it.
Yeah.
But we do that as adults. We feel good in something. We think, damn, I look great. Then we step out of our room and our husband says something. No.
What? I tell you to take it off. I don't say anything bad.
I'm just kidding, dude. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or somebody's like, hey, that makes you look fat. You will never wear that dress again. Even though you love the way you looked in it and the way you felt in it, because somebody had an issue with themselves and they said something, you're never going to wear that dress again.
Yeah.
Because what I've learned is that when you judge someone else, it's because you have something going on within.
Yeah.
That's unhealed. So whenever I feel or whenever I catch myself judging somebody, I'm like, all right, Sonia, what do you need to fix? What's going on with you?
It's like a reminder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We found out that Audrey made the club while you were out of town.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking on the phone, and we were in the kitchen, and she started having a meltdown. And I let you go. I'm like, I got to let you go. Like, Audrey's having a tough morning. So she's in the kitchen, and my poor baby is just like, her eyes are bulging out of her head. She said she wasn't able to sleep, that she kept getting up, and so she's lacking sleep. And she got up late, and she didn't finish the homework that she needed to finish, and softball, and she's just going on, and I can feel her, like her stress, and she is completely having like a meltdown. And all of a sudden, and she's crying. And all of a sudden, her phone goes beep. And she looks at her phone, and the message was from you. And you told her that she made it into the club
team.
She went from meltdown to being excited, like boom, right? And I sent you a text. Great idea, because I thought you sent it to her because I told you she was having a meltdown.
Yeah.
And then she called you, and then you guys were talking, and now she was fine. And while I'm witnessing all this, I'm thinking that's the difference between having inner joy and happiness. Because happiness depends on what happens to you, right?
Yeah.
Somebody cuts you off, bad day. The dog shit in your shoe, bad day.
Bad day.
Yeah. But when you have that inner joy, and you got to work on that. But once you have that inner joy, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, you can control that. It's like, oh, well, that was out of my control. Or, I didn't get to do, because I was telling her, what can I do to help you? That's what I was telling. When she's having that meltdown, I'm like, what can I do to help you? And she's just like, you can't do nothing. I'm like, I can help you with your homework. Like, how can we resolve this?
Yeah.
And when I seen her having that meltdown, I realized that as parents, we don't understand what our kids are going through sometimes. Right?
Yeah, she's got a lot going on.
I've been working all day. You come home from school, hanging out with all your friends. Right. And now you don't want to help around the house? And you're not keeping up on your room? Because we don't see the stress that they're going through in school. Because a lot of times, if you haven't built that bond with your children, they're not going to talk to you about everything that's going on. They're going to be closed off. But once you open those doors, that's when you get to really see like what's happening in their life. Because a little fight at school can turn into a meltdown because it's a good friend or because it may be someone they have a crush on, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and especially at her age, they have their drama in junior high. That's the age where it starts to happen. And it starts taking, like, now she's got to do homework, but she's thinking about what's happening with her friends. And she's trying to play sports, but she's also got homework and the crap that's happening with her friends.
Right.
And she's going to go sing in the choir, but then she's got to think about sports and the crap that's happening with her friends and the homework that she's not getting done and all the other bullshit,
Right.
And it's just like, and that's when it's just, she starts freaking out. And that's why I was talking about last week, like talking to her about not having that need to like feel like she needs to be perfect all the time. Like she had a C and I'm like, hey, it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. Like, let's try to get the C to a B, but don't fucking flip out about it. It's okay.
Yeah. We used to give her shit, but now do not. Like, she does not need, it's like, hey, as long as you give it your best, you're fine.
Yeah.
You and Joey, you were talking to me about you and Joey because you guys are getting ready for this competition, right? Yeah. And when you came home, you started running with him again.
Yeah.
And when you were gone, he was running.
Yeah, so he was supposed to kind of get up and run by himself, but he's 10, and
yes.
that's not easy to just get up and motivate yourself to go do some laps around the block or to have your sister. And it's also a different dynamic when your sister's running with you and she's the one trying to push you and tell you, but you don't want to hear that shit from your sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but he was getting up though. He got up and
I don't know. It may be just different too. Maybe with me, he gives me like a different effort or something.
He does.
I don't know.
He does.
But yeah. So when I got back from this trip, we went for a run. But before I let you guys know about that, make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. When you guys go to our website, you can follow all of our social media. You can watch our podcast there. You can listen to it there. You can send us a message by hitting the contact button. You can also find ways that you can support the show by clicking the support the show tab. When you click on that, it'll take you to our Amazon link. When you're on Amazon, you can look for our merch by searching Opposites Attract Podcast, shirt, phone case, pop socket, all that stuff. You can find it there. And whenever you're doing your shopping, if you click that link and then check out, that helps out the show. Whenever you buy stuff, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but they'll send us like a little kickback to help us out.
Yes.
And it helps out the show. And you'll also see a link to Trust Inc. And Trust Inc. is?
We are a nationwide mobile notary agency and signing agency. So if you are in the process of refinancing, selling, or buying a home, you can request us to be your signing agency. Yep. I feel weird like talking about that right now because of where it's at.
Yeah.
And where my plans are going.
Well,
so it's like,
once
should
we get
I
that going,
be,
we can add that. We'll see what happens. But if you want to send us a message, you can go to trustinkusa.com and we'll see what happens with that. But we're also affiliates with Pinwheel. Pinwheel is the best smartphone available out there for kids. It has GPS tracking. You can see all the text message logs, all the call logs. You have to approve all the contacts. You approve all the apps that go onto the phone. They have apps for little kids all the way up to teenagers. And so that way the phone can grow with the kid. And you were saying last time, I don't know what, we were giving an example of something with the phone. I mean, pretty much like all the addictive stuff that keeps kids glued to their phone is not on these phones. It's just good things that like calendars. Yeah. They have sports apps, anything that's going to make them better, make them more productive. Right. It's going to teach them something. If you have to level up and, get points so that you can get to the next thing, they don't do any of that stuff.
Like
because
games.
that's all super addictive and it's bad for the kids.
The parent has control over all the apps, as you stated, and it just gives you peace of mind. That's what this phone is. If you are thinking that you're wanting to get your kid a phone. I mean, we didn't get Audrey a phone until she was 12.
Something like that.
Yeah,
like 11 or 12.
Yeah, 11 or 12. She was almost 12. And Joey is going to be 11 in October. He still doesn't have a phone.
Yeah, but he might get one soon.
Yes. So if you are, there and you're thinking about it, but you're unsure because of, the shit that we go through.
Right.
With social media.
You can't put your phone down.
Right.
You're trying to go to sleep and you're sitting there in the glow of your freaking phone.
Yeah. This is the perfect phone. It will give you peace of mind.
So yeah, if you guys want to learn more, you can go to pinwheel.com and use promo code OAPTEN all together, all in caps, and that'll give you 10% off of a Pinwheel phone.
Yes.
And one thing real quick that I was going to say about that is some people's options are also like, I don't like it, so I'm just not going to give my kid a phone, which is not a very good option because that's what we're supposed to do as parents is like try to teach them. So it's a great way to be able to teach them how to use a phone the right way.
Right.
You know? So yeah, you guys can check that out. And also buy me a coffee.
Yes. So if you would like to buy us a coffee, it helps, support the show. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/oppositepod.
There you go. And if you guys want to send us a message or you want to leave us a voicemail, you guys can call us at 480-331-9846. So, yeah, we were talking about when I got back. And, yeah, we're training for this tournament. And we got up and went for a run. So I got up with Joey at 6:30. And we do like 3 laps around our block. And 3 laps around the block is about a mile. So we took off. And I told Joey, I was like, you know what? Now that we know that that's about a mile, why don't you just lead the way? Because I was going to track it with my phone. So we start taking off. And he just kind of like leads the way through the neighborhood and he's taking different places. I was like, look, once we reach half a mile, we'll turn around and go back. And man, we start pulling back into our neighborhood and we're not quite at a mile yet, right? So I tell Joey, instead of running straight to the house, let's take the longer way and go around the block because that'll definitely put us at a mile. And man, we're already 3/4 of the way through the run and he's getting tired. And you can see when he's starting to get tired, like he's not lifting his feet, like he's like jogging. He's not like walking,
right?
But he's not running fast, and his feet are like heavy.
Yeah, I get
stomping. His arms, they're not like up; they're just like flopping around. And I was like, "Hey, we're about to finish. Like we're around the corner, and we got a fight coming up." And then there was like a sprinkler. It was like perfect. There was like a little sprinkler that was spraying water into the sidewalk. And I was like, "Joe, put your hands up. Put your hands up." And he puts his hands up. Like, I was like, you're a champion. You're a champion. I was like, pick your chin up, pick your feet up, pick your hands up. I was like, let's go. And he just starts going. I was like, you're a champion. You're a champion. And he keeps running. And then once we got down to the end of our street, I was like, let's go. We're at the end. And the truth is like the street, it's like it's not like a super long block, but anybody that knows that works out, like if you go 100% or if you push yourself really hard, you can't do that for more than, I don't know, 20 seconds or something like that because it's just hard. Like to push yourself 100% with all of your effort, running as fast as you can, doing burpees as fast as you can, push-ups as fast as you can. You can't do it for more than 20 seconds. Like you just burn out. And he fucking took off from like down at the end of the block. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I don't know if he's going to make it to like push all the way to the end because he might get too tired.
Yeah.
And he fucking kept going and going. And then we just kept getting closer and closer to the house. And I just kept telling him, I'm like, dude, you're doing it. Like, don't stop. Keep going. Keep going. And he fucking finished. He finished and he crushed it. And then after he got done, I was telling him, I was like, how do you feel? And he's like, I feel good. I feel good. And I was like, that's good. I was like, now go upstairs and get ready for school. I was like, and when you go to school, I want you to do your best. Like you did when you were running. I was like, and I can guarantee you that no matter what happens, you're going to feel good at the end of school. I was like, after school, we have jiu-jitsu. And we're going to train there. And we're going to kick ass there. And we'll feel good afterward. Because that's it. You just got to do your best and you'll feel good. I was like, you're going to feel good at the end of tonight. You know?
That's so good. With Joey, I know that coming from you means the world to him.
Yeah.
Because I see it in him. Like he doesn't want to disappoint you. And I love the fact that you had those conversations with both the kids, with Audrey and Joey, to let them know that there's nothing that they have to do for you to love them.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important for our kids to know that. And not just, the thing of it is that you can say it and they'll hear it.
Yeah.
But when the action matches, that's when things start to change. With you and Joey and this competition that you guys have, you're doing it together, right?
Yeah.
Like you guys are doing it together. And I can see it. You guys already have a really close bond, but I can see, and when you have these deep conversations that you're having with him, he will forever remember the way you made him feel.
Yeah.
Because that's, what do they say? People will not remember
what you said.
They'll remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
You can say, I love you. Right? You can say, I love you. But if your actions don't match,
yeah.
There's just a huge difference when it comes to that. And I know that, Joey, there's times where you and I are questioning our parenting. I mean, we did that with Audrey, or where he's at, right? The way he responds, because he's at times he could be temperamental. He could be short. He's very hard on himself.
You talking about
he's not
me?
a very good, he loves to win.
Yeah.
He loves to win. So it's like when he wins, it's like, Joey, how did that feel? How did that feel? That's why I asked him that. How did that feel? And yesterday we were playing Burrito War. If you guys do have kids,
throw burrito.
Throw burrito.
Throw burrito.
Yes.
Get it on Amazon through our link. It'll help us out.
Yes. If you don't have this game, I
it's a great game.
suggest you go and get it, because it's such a bonding moment, like with your kids.
We talked about it on the podcast before. We pretty
A
much did like
while
a commercial for
a while back,
freaking,
right?
Yeah.
Dude, we should hit them up. Anyways,
I'm telling you.
So we're
it's good.
upstairs, and this was last night. We're playing this game, and Joey does not
want to
like losing. But it's like, before you win, you're going to lose. There's, it's, and this is just a game. But in life.
Excuse me.
But in life.
Yeah. You're going to lose.
And it's not even, it's like, and it's getting them to question, okay, what could have I done different? Whatever. I mean, this is a game, but I'm referring it to like life lessons.
Yeah.
What are you going to learn from that? There's always a lesson. And it's funny because when I'm talking to the kids, and I'm sure you get this too, when I'm talking to the kids, I'm also talking to myself. Right? Because I can't be telling them one thing and then doing another.
Yeah.
But we both, last night witnessed, like, the boy does not like to lose. He likes to win. And so I told him, hey, in order to win, you can't quit, because so many of us quit, so we never win.
Yeah.
You can't quit, because what does he do what does he tend to do when things get tough?
You stop. It's kind of like working out. Like, you always hear it. It's like, as soon as it starts to hurt, you stop. And it's like, well, that's when you're supposed to start.
Yes. My coaching has affected every part of my life. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Every part of my life. When I go to work out, I'm a different person. Like, I'm a different person when I work out. When I feel the pain, I continue to push through it.
Yeah.
My energy, it's just all of it. It's just, and it took me so long to hire a coach because, it's not like it's cheap.
And I think subconsciously you also know that you're going to put yourself through some shit. Because like you kind of know. It's weird because it's like, all right, there's some shit that I need to work out. And I know I should hire a coach. But if I hire a coach, this shit's coming. So it's like you have to be ready to also hire the coach. Even though it's expensive, you also have to be mentally prepared and know that you're like, you know what I mean?
I just thought that I could self-process
kind of like
on my own.
Well, exactly.
and heal.
But I think also, like, if you would have hired a coach before you self-processed, this might be a rougher process.
Yeah, because I would
So
have
it's
had
kind of
more
like
stuff.
you wanted to prepare it's like, I know I got to deal with some shit. So maybe like you were preparing yourself to put yourself through more.
You want to know,
I don't know.
what it was?
What was it?
I knew that there were things that I was not seeing for myself. I knew I had a problem with money. There was an issue with money. I knew it, but I couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from. And I had no idea that it stemmed from, this story that I told myself, because I was thinking we were like poor. Like there's different levels of poor.
We've been talking about that.
I wasn't as poor as I thought I was, okay?
But you were poor.
Yes.
Okay, so am I talking you back into it?
Shut up, Miguel. Well, too, and it depends, because let's talk about comparison.
Yeah.
Compared to who? Like, compared to who? Yes. Okay, listen. I always had food. I had everything that I needed, right? I had my own room. I had a bedroom with a box spring.
Yeah, it wasn't on the floor.
Right.
So it wasn't that bad.
You know what I'm saying?
But there's signs.
Yes.
Like having your house bombed for roaches. Like we did.
Yes.
Remember I told you that?
We forgot about that. We were going to talk about that.
I was like, that is poor people shit.
Right. Because middle class and upper class don't go through that.
If you have to leave your fucking house or apartment for hours because they fucking set off a chemical weapons inside your house so they can kill all the roaches.
There you go.
That's poor shit. You know what I
mean? Right. But, and when you think about trauma, you guys, you think about major shit, right?
Yeah.
You think about major shit. But it could be that kid who was teasing you because you had FIFAs instead of FILAs.
Yeah. I had FIFA sometimes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it affects your self-worth, and you don't get it.
That's like that. What was that? Eddie Murphy. He was like, "Oh, you got that welfare green pepper burger."
Yes,
when they wanted McDonald's.
I got McDonald's
with the dough.
McDonald's.
Oh,
yes.
That was hilarious.
Yes.
Like, yep. You compare.
Exactly.
Damn. And then when you get older, what do you want? You got that. You want mom's big fucking burger,
right?
With all the shit on it.
It's hilarious, but it's just so eye opening, and I can't wait. I mean, I could pretty much already start coaching, but I just want to wait. I want to wait until I know I am free, and I know I'm going to be on fire, because I've been coaching and helping people go through life shit already. I've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
Since 2006.
Yeah. No,
but it's just been in different areas, right?
Right.
And so, I'm excited for that journey, because I know that's where I'm supposed to be. Like, I've been called to do this for such a long time.
How does it feel compared to other things that you've done? Like knowing that you're on this path.
Yes.
Compared to like we're getting started with Trust Inc.
Yes. My heart is in it. Like it's different. It's that burning desire, the passion, the joy, the love, all of it.
Because I'm sure you were excited also about starting Trust Inc. in the beginning, right?
No, not like this though. Not like this.
So
this
how is it
different? Because I know that I'm here to serve. I know that I'm going to help people break through their shit and clean up their mess and to live the life that they're supposed to be living. I'm helping people find their inner joy, their peace and love. And that's what people want. That's all people want.
And that's probably like, I think I've talked about it before. Like when you do something that's so close to your purpose and like who you are, that's what takes the most work, but it's going to be the most rewarding.
Yes.
So, like you said, we're getting ready for this jiu-jitsu tournament. We got about 6 weeks, about a month and a half left. And yeah, we're kind of eating better. Well, we've been eating better for a little bit. I'm down like 8 pounds. I got like 8 more to go. But yesterday, you were talking about how I went out on a work trip, which I'm kind of excited about. Didn't go the way I planned. It's going to create a lot of work for me, but I'm excited for the experience that I'm going to have, hopefully, because it could turn into a disaster.
Oh, this next one you mean?
This thing that came up with work and everything.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, it's kind of a little bit higher. It's blown up. So I get to kind of handle some cool stuff. But anyway, but then while I was gone, I didn't want to kind of like skip training or anything like that. So I looked up a place while I was in California and went and trained jiu-jitsu there.
Okay.
Which was the first time that I've ever trained somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Really, but I've trained at other gyms, but the gyms were affiliated with our gym.
Right.
You know, and it was cool because it's all the same. It's all the same. Like all the moves are the same. We're all doing the same thing. We're fighting for the same stuff, but there are differences. Like in our school, like you could feel the weight. Like they focus a lot on the pressure and like suffocating kind of, you know, like that. Having that suffocating, crushing feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Which it's just the style of our school, but it was cool. But then when I got back, you know, we're back into the training again. And this last time you went with us and you watched, Audrey had the day off, so she didn't have softball. So we got to go with like almost like we did before, just me, Joey, and Audrey.
Right.
And you got to sit and watch. So what did you think?
Okay. So I enjoyed when Coach was showing you like the moves when you guys were, what do you call it?
When we're drilling.
When you're drilling.
Yeah. They show us the move and then we go back and partner up and practice it.
Yes. But then like once you guys started rolling, seriously, like I'm watching you and Joan, you know, you all are doing well. Audrey hasn't been in it for a while because her focus is on softball, but whenever she gets a chance, we take her in, and she was having a rough time. And I know my girl, like she's very loving, she's very compassionate, and to fight like the rolling part of it, I don't know. I think it's more challenging for her because who wants to do that, right? Like who wants to inflict discomfort or on someone else? Hold on.
That's you.
Hold on.
You're turning into a hippie. That's what's happening.
And then, you know, I see when you're rolling and I'm like, oh my God, because
I'm doing so good?
First of all,
like, no.
The first dude, like you tapped out the first dude. He was huge. Like
Thanks,
he's
babe.
A big dude.
Thanks, babe.
You know, and you're with this big dude. And I'm like, oh my God, he's going to smash Miguel. I'm like, you know, I mean, come on. You weigh what?
170, close to 170.
Okay. And this dude?
He's probably like 230,
240, 250.
Like I don't know.
He's a big dude, right? He's solid. Yes. And I see Miguel get him freaking like.
But it's just different.
Flip him, and I'm like, ooh, my back that hurt my back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, how in the world?
That's what I was thinking. I don't want this guy to hurt my back.
Oh my gosh.
I gotta protect myself.
But while I'm watching this, you guys, I'm sitting back and I'm like, why? Why do we pay someone
to beat the shit out of us?
Exactly. You know, but I felt proud. I did because, dude, you're great. Like you have that don't quit attitude, and I just love that about you.
Thanks, because I don't feel...
that's where I am today. I had to work through some stuff, you know, because I was a softie. I went from being hard. Isn't that weird? I started off hard. Like I was people that know me back in the day was like, yeah, this girl, Like I was hard.
Yeah.
You know, I was lovable, but I was hard. And then I went from that to
like you weren't
humbling myself. I was not approachable. I remember my best friend, we would go out And he would tell me, girl, because I would dance and I love to dance. So I would get a lot of attention on the dance floor, and that was me. I wanted all the attention. Look at me, and I would get it, right? But then there's times too, like when I'm the dance floor, I'm smiling. I'm doing my thing. I'm feeling myself, right? But if I'm not on that dance floor, and then I would wear suits back then because I would work for a law firm, it's pretty intimidating. And I didn't get it. And my friend's like, Sonja,
that's kind of weird though. Like going to a bar, dancing in a suit.
Well, because we would after we would work, we'd go to happy hour. I'm not gonna go home and change. I lived way on the west side and I worked downtown. Yeah. You know, like I'm thinking like way back then. But yeah, he was like, you need to smile more, be more approachable.
Somebody said that to you?
Yeah.
Damn.
You know, and so I remember I got a second job.
What's that?
As a waitress, and a dude. You know, you'd get more tips if you smiled more.
Oh, shit.
Yep. And guess what happened? Ooh, ever since then, I can't stop smiling. Look at my face right now.
Dude, I would get that. Who was like, Audrey? Remember, who told us that? She was telling us that people would tell her, like, are you angry?
Yes.
Or something like that. And then I remember.
Poor baby. She has mommy and daddy like that.
We got resting bitch face. That's
why I smile all the time.
But dude, I told her that people would tell me that at work too. Because there's times like I don't know.
You're caught up in thought.
That is what it is most of the time. Yeah. It's like when it's early in the morning, like you just got to work, you're walking around, and it's like people are walking by, but you're not even fucking fully there yet.
Right. You
know what I mean? So it's just like.
But you don't walk around smiling anyway,
that's
dude.
What I'm saying.
You're not.
No, but that's what I'm saying is like, well, yeah, I don't walk around smiling anyway.
I do.
But because I'm usually thinking. But it doesn't mean like I'm angry. But people would always walk up to me like, are you okay? Like, are you mad? And I'm like, no, I'm fucking fine. You know?
I'm fucking fine. You know who I did that to? At jiu-jitsu? Blue.
Oh, really?
Blue came around and he was looking all crazy. I'm like, hey. Who are you mad at?
Wait. Oh, he was looking crazy? Because Blue is one of those people that's like, he's always happy.
He has the same thing. But he said the same thing.
Oh, really?
I have resting bitch face. I'm like, oh, so do I. That's why I smile all the time, because people are like, man, you're such a happy person. And I am happy. Like, I am a happy person. Except these past days when I'm going through all this shit. I'm an emotional mess. But I am a happy person.
But I want you to end on something real quick. Because just like in the morning, you have these people, right, that it's just not yet. I haven't even had my coffee yet. Fucking, you're gonna have to wait till at least 9:30 or something. Right. But then you got some people that it could be 4:00 in the morning. You show up for work and they are fucking smiling. They are always happy, you know.
Yeah.
But you were telling me that you would go to the kickboxing gym.
Oh yes.
And that there was a girl that was there that you noticed like is always one of these people that's always happy.
Yeah.
And that one day you kind of noticed that something was up.
Yes.
You know, what was going on?
And
not her situation, but
she was it takes one to know one, to recognize one, right? And I had, went up to her and started talking to her. And she told me, thank you. Thank you for noticing, and thank you for coming up to me and talking to me. She said, because people that are like us, that are always happy and in a good mood, we get quiet. We are the ones that people don't check on because because we're always so happy and excited. We are the last ones that they check on. And I almost feel like too that we are those that can get into a dark place if we allow ourselves to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I understood her exactly, because that's me. I'm always there to lift people's spirits. Even when I go to a store, I will open a conversation if I feel, like someone.
If they look like they're down.
Yeah. With a hi or
a smile
or even a compliment.
Yeah.
It's so important that if you have someone like that in your life, Be aware of that. And
check in on them.
Check in on them. Check in on them.
Man, you were just talking about that, and it just reminded me of something that happened a little while ago that I haven't talked about just because, we talk about all kinds of stuff, and it doesn't always come up. But, man, we talked about this in the beginning of this show when we first started. I had a friend of mine that I used to work with, and he was a new guy at the time. And we would play pranks on new guys. Like, we would try to think of the craziest shit. So for this guy, the prank that we played was that, and when you work with a group of guys, you kind of get to know, like, the ones that have a good personality, the guys that have a sense of humor, the ones that you're going to get along with, right? Even when you get an impression for people, right? Mm-hmm. And he was one of those people that gave you that impression that he was a happy guy, a funny guy, and that he was going to get along great with everybody.
Right.
So what do we do with the people we like? We fuck with them, right? So we decided that the prank that we were going to play on him was that I was an inspector on helicopters, right? So like real important flight safety stuff. But the story was that I had gotten into a car accident and I lost my part of my memory. So like my short-term memory was fucked up, but I still was a very good mechanic and I knew my stuff. I just had trouble remembering certain things. And everybody, this is fucking crazy because this went on for like a couple weeks. Everybody in the hangar was in on it. And they would talk to me like somebody who had memory problems. I had a little notebook that I would write notes on so I wouldn't forget stuff. And this dude, anytime he was around, everybody else would play along and play it up. Mm-hmm. And, dude, it was just crazy. But we ended up playing this joke on him. And after about 2 weeks, like I just kind of like let him in on it. Because the last straw was I started telling him that when I would get home from work, that I would forget that my wife had a baby and she would have to explain to me that we had a new baby all the time. And he's like, wow, that's fucked up, And then I'm like, I'm just fucking with you or whatever,
Like 51st dates?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much like 51st dates. So, and then, he was just, but he was one of those people that was always like smiling, happy. He was one of those people that would brighten the room, that was cracking jokes, And, man, a few weeks back, a couple months ago, he ended his life. And that's one of the things that we've talked about the most between the people that it's because like we work together. We didn't hang out outside of work, but it's those people that you really get along with them, even though we didn't hang out all the time or whatever. And we were just like, between those of us that knew him at work, we're just like, man, I would have never guessed it from somebody like him, because he was that happy person, just like you're saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, you just never know. It doesn't matter how happy they look all the time. Shit, that makes me right now think about my friends that you look at that way. Yeah, right?
Yes.
And you don't check on them.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important.
It is. We I think we've talked about this before, but there's no way that we are here. We came into this world. We talked about tribes before. We talked about building communities and just being a part of, and, to be alone, and at times you do feel alone when you have no one checking in on you to see how you're doing. And it's just so important to, connect with those that you love and to be attentive and just to be aware.
And kind of like Aaron Rodgers was talking about in that interview that we were watching, like even if you are at where you're feeling like the most guilt in the world for all the horrible shit that you've done, and whether you think you're like the biggest piece of shit in the world or whatever, there's still people that will love you just the way you are.
Right. Yep.
And if they can love you, you should be able to love yourself too.
Ooh, I was going to talk about that.
Right? But maybe we can get a little into that on the next one.
That's good.
So we got to write that down.
To be continued.
Thanks for being with us. Make sure you guys go to oppositesattractpodcast.com. Share it with the people that you know. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching Opposites Attract Podcast.
Where we get better
together. Bye.